This was not in any way, shape, or form to be a challenging quiz. It was just if you keep up with it, these things will be second nature, and you have to have this as second nature to progress. When we do shields, you have two layers. You have to understand completely and well what electric fields are, power is, H field, transmitted versus reflected. You have to know this, how to calculate the intrinsic impedance, all these things almost reflexively. You really don't have the luxury of getting a lot of partial credit. This is very little partial credit on this one. And that's what my quizzes are like. Now, some of the people have had me before. They know this. I'm going to ask you to make sure you bring a charge calculator and bring a calculator. I think one person didn't have a calculator. Always assume you're going to need one in this class. Now, my signals and systems, I never allow calculators. But here I do, because the nature of this class is a lot of calculations. I'm going to suggest one other thing, and I don't know how easy it is for you to do. Program epsilon naught, mu naught, all right, and C into your calculators. That way you won't have to type those things in over and over again. That's my suggestion. I don't know the easiest way to do it. Back in the day when I used an HP calculator a lot, most people use TIs now. You could store in what I call primitive, in memory all these things, and just, you can even write equations and then just count, put in the inputs to an equation. It was already an equation, like, the power incident, power transmitted. You have an equation you could literally put in there. Follow me, everybody? You can do that. So you won't be, I don't know, making errors with your fingers or something. Now, that said, I'm not ridiculing you or anything like that. I don't know everything that's going on. COVID seems to have had a negative effect on people's motivation and their focus. Besides that, I can say one other thing. I have had some remarkably strong classes, but that was an upper graduate class. I mean, like my radar course, stuff like this. It seems in undergrad there's more, less enthusiasm. I'm sorry, I'm saying something that's in some way not sounding like I'm trying to encourage you. I'm trying to encourage you. That's what I'm trying to do. And somebody is going to come out soon and ask me, are you going to drop one quiz? I will drop your lowest quiz, not this quiz necessarily. Do you follow me? So the lowest quiz grade is dropped, and I take the average of the remainder of the quizzes in your quiz grade. I don't know, hopefully this will be a lowest, but I can't say that with authority. Yes?
Wait, so we're allowed to program the formulas into our calculator?
You can, but the danger of doing that, and I'm telling you this because I usually have kids. In the power classes, they tell me kids come in and literally with everything programmed in. So if you ask something that's not programmed, like assume power is this equation, then they'll freak out because they got it in. You have to know them, all right? The way I always do my stuff, when I was with New York, I never wanted to look at formulas. If I didn't know the formulas, with the exception of very elaborate long ones, like giant chemical formulas for if you had organic chemistry, they'll have hundreds of molecules. Something like that, that's not within my realm. But I'm talking about things that are reasonable. These equations are very reasonable and logical. You have to know that. There's no way you can program in, but again, I'm going to warn you about one thing. If you don't know for a fact that that's right, like, don't you guys have power? You've had power, right? Didn't you guys program some power equations in your calculator? No? I was told you did, but I guess that was false information. No? All right. Well, you don't have to program, but I'm just saying that I've had students in the past that did it. You have to show the formula. Do y'all follow me? I have to see the formula you use. Anytime you just put answers down, there's no work. You're not going to give much credit, if any, unless it's a no-brainer, like, the time delay to go 3 times 10 to the 8th meters for an electromagnetic wave. Well, it's moving at the speed of light, it's 3 times 8 meters per second. So you got that. But anything complicated, you have to show me the formula you use. Okay? Fair enough? Now, we're going to go on. I'm going to go over this quiz first and foremost because it gave me a little concern. And again, please do the homework when it's given. I'll try to give you stuff that's interesting. And maybe I'll only give you the answers, I'm not sure. But do it so that you know you can do it. The most dangerous thing to do is get complacent. Come Thursday night, if you expect a quiz on Friday, crank. You come in, a lot of confusion. Remember, this particular course builds heavily on the first 3 chapters. 6, 7, and 8 through there. big chunk of this course, and it all builds sequentially. If you don't know the first part, you'll never know the second kind of deal, okay? I'm just trying to be fair. So let's go over this problem. This is quiz 1, and it should be on OneNote. If you look on OneNote, you can just look there with me. You don't need to take notes. Anyway. So for quiz 1, this is your standard. By the way, some of you will recognize this as an identical problem I gave you with different numbers in the second. It's an